Ladies, my name is Hans, and welcome to the What If I Was in Seven Deadly Sins, Part 1. So, or should I say the movie, because how fast I'm talking. So, let's ignore what I'm doing in the background. So, in this What If, I'm going back to my roots, so, where it all began. So, alright, let's begin. So, Zuko, or not Zuko, my hey character. Let's get some stuff out of the way before we move on. So, number one is comments for you people that are new channels things or new people. Yeah, well, don't like get like sending horny video links in the comments. I don't like that. So that's why I'm just telling you now before I end up forgetting to tell you that. So, could you hear me? Okay, so in this What If I Was in Seven Deadly Sins, I would, instead of like one or the spirit of like divine and the demon king, there was actually a third god. His name was Path of Destiny, or should I say grandfather, or ultimate. Like then, that he is highest one. That's what he looks like. So, and that's my character. And he is a also fourth wall thing. He can go into multiverse where like My Hero Academia universe or anywhere. As he says, well, as how you been since last time we met? Oh, nothing much. I grew some hairs out, grew a beard, and doing all that stuff. Now, can we continue with this video? Sure. You were just explaining to the wonderful audience what my powers are. Can I explain them? Sure. How about that? My powers are like what he said. Powers of space, time, reality, and even multiverse. All the way to I'm basically kind of creation kind. So, go take it away, Chaz. Okay. So, and don't worry. So, he got bored of doing that job. So he, of course, was so stressed that he splitted in, or actually he died of boredom and came back as a demon king's son. This would be his, or this is. He also still contains his powers. So, how have you been? Well, I died and came back as a creepy man. As he, so, fight thing And he has like a girlfriend was actually her. Like she was in she was in love with him, but there's someone else that was in the same name was her. So she was also in a to win my character's heart. Sorry. So, during that war thing, my character died. That means both of them that had turned like into the creatures, and they didn't die because Meliodas, his brother, and Elizabeth was like tried to stop it, and they ended up getting cursed by. So then or instead of getting killed, or he got killed, and or the archangel, guess who, him, has decided to turn him or my character into a archangel of elementals. Basically, he can control everything. And then after the angels went into like hiding or whatever that's called, then they also went into, so he turned into a human afterwards. So how much time? Okay, so he basically met him and Seven Deadly Sins and Gil Thunder and all of them. But he saved Jiro's life multiple times. But she still has, like, she knows what actually she fell in love with him the first time, as she was her boyfriend. So that makes her the third person in her and her. So, and during that 3,000 or 300 or whatever that's called, war, the elemental Chaz, that's what I'll, as one of them asked, like, how will this outcome be? As four elemental angels looks at him, says, well, as he says, Well, there's and pause. What? Okay. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. So during that transformation from this into that thing, really set off her and her, because they couldn't believe that as his last words were, "Hunter, I'm sorry," as a demon. But then his brain got changed into the archangel thing. Like, he went as they're like, or she's like, "You man, and took away our boyfriend or future husband thing." Then after that, after demons got sealed, they went into hiding, and Shedman saved her countless times, and she is, even in his human form, he's like, he was buff as Gil Thunder, and he also contains his like fort sight ability and the like his archangel abilities and like all that stuff. So he basically says, and he also saved her countless times, as she finally, I swore that I had, let's see, nope, hold on, oh wait, hold on, here we go, I just couldn't see her, wait, hold on, oh, okay, I didn't see her at first, so my character saved her a bunch of times, and too, as when she didn't have feelings for Gil Thunder, but she had feelings for my character in this what if. So he says, as the king told them to go check out the downfall thing. So the downfall, or sent him and two holy knights thing. As he says, ready guys? As he's way faster than any normal person. He could outrun a horse or a cheetah. So he man, that guy's fast. I don't think he's human at all. It's just he has this unique powers. Huh. Well, then, as he goes down, like he sleds down, he, instead of like waiting for them, he just jumps in. As he could use foresight, so he can see in the dark too. So he looks around and sees it as he but now flip to her. Or actually, when he came, or like he went and checked, and he saw Floudrin at there. So he says, huh, not a chance. This body's already been taken. But I think you're just crazy. As Floudrin knows that he is basically pulling tricks on him, so he says "Dar," or as he goes into his body, as he is like, I see. You're the gentleman that I used to know. Whatever happened to you? As he says, oh, nothing really changed much. And as he comes out of his body and gave him a hug and said, like, I miss you so much. Because Floudrin and him were best friends, like super best friends. As he says, as he turns and looks, as he says, everything's fine down here. As he says, as he goes into his body, because he told him that they're coming to scout out what happened to Downfall. So just trust me. As he goes into his body and then all that stuff. So one day him were Floudrin decided to took his body first and then him. So because so he and him killed Dreyfus, or Dreyfus his brother. So then, as he says, okay, as he got stopped by her, or actually before her, like there was one mission where he goes with or goes by himself, and he goes as he tells, or he goes and he, or Hinman always kept his word, as he says, I'm a really nice guy. But as she walks up to him, as she says, well, or as he says, my name is Hans. As all the vampires, hold on, sorry about that. I had to grab the images for that. So so Henman walks, and he says, well, I know that they sent me to kill all of you, but I kind of know you from somewhere. As he is being completely honest with, as he knows him as Zeldris's big brother. So she says, I'm like, I forget what her name is in the anime. Let's look it up, shall we? It was, hold on, give me a minute. Gerta, or Gilta? I don't know how to pronounce it. So, Gilta says, I am Gilta. I'm your brother's girlfriend. Yeah, sorry. I only will save you because the other two will be executed, okay? The rest would be executed. By my hand, it's just he sent me to do it. So, I understand. As then, guess who else is falling in love with my character? Her. So she's embarrassed. But she was actually knew him when he was Zeldris's older brother and Meliodas'. But she only person that really knew that she had feelings for him was her. So, and she told you only like rest of them except for me and her, right? Yeah. I don't want Zeldris to end up getting mad at me for killing you off. Oh, don't I? You're so polite too. Because Demon King wasn't even noticed that Hinman was still alive. So he used his power to seal both girls away before, and he says, "Forgive me, okay?" As he pulls out the blade, as he cut down, or he killed 1, 2, 3, all the vampires except for those two. So he was like, okay. So then they ended up, as he, so they were like, okay. And then they heard, or when they respect him enough to, it's like their brother that always works harder than them. As he was pretty powerful. So then the 7 deadly sins, they all separated because they, of course, they have rejoined because and Hinman says, or actually was so protective of the king, and as he said, or the king told him to keep Elizabeth safe. Okay? I will. Oh. As he says, or of course, both of them went on a journey to go and, they stumbled onto his bar, or his tavern, I should say, as he says, and all that stuff. Remember that? Okay, so Meliodas doesn't he remember who his brother usually was. As he says, guess you did run a tavern. As they did the same thing in the anime, but him and power level, as him and Meliodas were by themselves. Like he says, Meliodas, I know that. Do you remember me? I sure did remember you all those. Okay? But tell me, did you really have to betray us? As Meliodas says, okay, well, yeah, but just so to being you're in love with that girl, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So he says, how did you know about? As it dawns on him of, oh wait, you're my brother. As he's gives him a face palm. How have you been? As he says, been pretty good since after whatever happened. As you got or he says, you got the one fine woman, and Meliodas. Yeah. As Elizabeth heard that they're talking about her, how as Meliodas says, "Did you betray?" No, but the four archangels turns me into one of theirs. As Meliodas was pretty interested in. Plus, also Elizabeth says, "So you were his brother?" As he says, "Yep." Or Meliodas says, "Yep. He's my oldest brother. He's more dangerous and crazy, but his powers are insane compared to he even when he gets mad, he basically kills everything." So, and now they regroup the seven deadly sins. As he says, okay, we got King, or actually we got Bond for, or no, oh my goodness, or Lady Diane first, King, or Bond, then King, and that makes inks 4. Just needs is 3 people. So he says that. And as he says, and you're the most powerfulest one, not the strongest one. As he gets hit in the head by his brother. Try that again. And as you're like, what did you do to? Oh, my brother needs to get some whacked once in a while. Okay, and then he ends up as his aura emanating from his body is just as he was then doing the castle thing, similar, but he went and snatched her brother, and he says, as he after he took some demon blood and that, so he ends up being more powerful than anyone. So he says, as his power level was a little bit weaker than my characters. As he says, you're pretty weak to me. As he says, as he went, of course, she snatched him, gave him a hug, kind. as he says, "What are you doing?" As she ends up so she was like, she tells him that when about like when first when she laid her eyes on him and how muscular he gets when he's upset. But then she asked this question of, "Hey Chaz, can I ask you this question? Who do you love the most? Because I want to know." I want to get like all that stuff to a character. So basically, Shenman and his let's see how many women that went to Shenman. So that's one, two, three, four. There's only 4 women that went and asked him out. So, as he says, okay. As she is like, she's smiling after that. And she said, "Thank you." Oh. As her heart starts beating up faster and faster. As she also, when she also gave him a kiss thing. Yeah. So, as he says, "Now, it's time for me to get a little bit salty. Or you really start to tick me off." As he says, "You have no way to win. Because I already know all your abilities without any hesitation." As he says, as Chenman and says, "Are you sure?" Now, as he because he used a portal to the one universe where zombies are at. It's like a land of the dead kind. So basically, as he goes in and hits him right in the chest cavity, as he says, boom, boom, as he's like, "Welcome to my dojo of the guns." As they're like, he's like shocked. "This is your doing? You're just a mere human." As he says, as Shenman says, You know what? I haven't seen you, or I haven't showed you my real form. I just used this human form to, as he says, what do you mean? As he sees that I am the son of the paths, or all of the everything. My job is to guide correct souls into correct spots too. As he was shocked because he did not know that Hinman was an actual gun. So he basically went up, or he flew up and touched him on the chest and says, "Now the darkness will leave your body." As he pushes, even if Dreyfus was still alive, he would just experience how powerful Hinman would get. As he turns back into his human state, as all the darkness that was inside of him was turned back into a human and undo brainwashing stuff. As he also took that piece of his memory or of him away. So he comes back as he says, as she was still bleeding thing, but dumb luck, he also had the same powers of what she had in the anime. So her wounds got healed, and then, of course, let me remind you who, in his god form, passes everybody. His age, infinity. He could change his age process of him could be same age as her or same age as, and when he was a demon thing, when he was in that form, only person that really knew about his demonic power was actually him. So, but no one else, and his doll. So then he says, don't tell him to go through. As he saved the kingdom, and with his help, or before, during that dojo thing, or that big rock battle arena one, was when Shinman and went in against the old art guy, and he says, as his or Bond and he told Bond that his wrestling name would be Yeah. Oh, sorry. His like would be the giraffe. And he says, let's see, any million? Boom! As he's basically, he was laughing. As Meliodas says, why are you laughing, little brother? As he says, yeah, but hey, I used to have one of these when I was. Do you remember? Nope, but I do remember. And plus, I know your abilities better than, or I know everybody's abilities. So, as he used the same moves, what Bond does, as he says, wait, that's my moves. How the heck did he learn? How did, or he's like, well, now Fox Hunt Ultimate, as it's like, as Meliodas lost and Henman moves up to against her or against his friend Lady Diane. So he ends up like, well, and then against a Titan or giant. Yeah, as he says, you're awesome. As he says, ready, set, no, boom, boom. As he was, of course, she says, wait, how did you use your, or that was my technique, or learned from, as he says, from the giants? Well, some people have the same abilities as others, so it's common. So then she's like, but how do you even know all of our moves? And he says, well, first time, first serve. As he says, I know this one from personal experience. It's combined of, that Gil Thunder, his lightning attack, and my fist. So he says, ready? And, or actually, your steel. So he says, Iron King, Iron Hammer, as he literally punched her right out of the ring, sending her flying. As Hinman's like, yeah. Huh. And they're like, oh, so you can use different attacks. And then now skipping all that stuff, as he says, as so he doesn't even remember. So then he starts reviving the Ten Commandments. Zarathustra was mad at his brother for leaving him, and he's also mad at the archangel for turning his brother, or his other brother, into one of theirs. So then and both people, her and her, were mad. Like, basically mad because they witnessed him transformed into a harness as he or into the four archangels. And then sorry about that, and let's see how many. Okay, so then he says, as the kingdom, the king of that Leonis says, or actually only a king knew about his gunless form or gun form. So he says, let's get some matters, or like some matters out of their hands. Okay, so no enchantment. Yes. Show them your true form. As he transforms into that, as he says, hello, everyone. Sorry. So, now, as everyone's shocked, the Meliodas couldn't believe that his own brother is an actual son of. As he flies over to her and says, forgot to tell you that. As he says, don't worry. Something's telling me that I'll remove your power, or move, or I have my own curse on. I can curse others, but I don't want to use it. But as he says to her that as he took away his or her quirk, or her curse thing, not quirk, but her curse, and gave her a new one. It's a lot better than the old one. So that every time she does die, she comes right back. It's similar to Meliodas, but without losing his emotions, kind. And without losing her memories either. So then now, and then Orange or her, she couldn't believe that her boyfriend is actually gonna know everything. As he says, as he turns and looks at her and says, my age, I can be any age I want. If you were wondering, I can be the same age as you. As his aura was so soothing, he even flew up and to her, and so she couldn't believe that she's actually dating a nun of Lin Hun. So, as he says, there are many girlfriends, but you're the first one that asked me who do you love more, or who do I love more? Or, as Meliodas is surprised that his own he couldn't believe that his own brother is a nun of everything. It's hard to believe, as he says that he says, yes, Meliodas, I am. Don't worry. It's as he was. They were blessed to have him. As he says that. So, as he says, but there's reason why I chose to be human or demon or angel, because it's really to fight off my boredom, because as Elizabeth understands that he's bored, plus the king was, so he converted back into a human. So even Jira was embarrassed, because she couldn't believe that she's actually dating a nun too. So, of everything. So basically, it's like her. So, and Ten Commandments, and he says, guess you are 10 Commandments, aren't you? As only one that really knew who, as he says, you're. As one of them asked, is Chinman still alive? Or she says, is our boyfriend still alive? Loudron? As he says, yes. I just talked with him a couple days ago. He looks like he's ready to punch up a storm. That's our brother right there. As yep, because they both have decided to share him. As he was, or in this one, I'm making what I did in the last video, or like yesterday's video thing. He was, so I made them both separate. So him and then him. So both of them were two separate beings. So, in this video too. So, now, And don't worry about the 41% one. That's my battery, so no need. Still have time. So, part 2 will come soon.